Hey, hey everybody, it's Rob, Quantum Gamers, in my laddering series, and I've hit a wall. This is part 2 of my escapades to get off that wall and be a better player, and all. So we're going to look at the second game that I've selected that sort of selects my overall losing streakedness. So the replay is done loading. Here I am. I'm playing Zerg because out of frustration I went back to my home race, the Zergies. Yeah, my first race I picked was Protoss because I did like them, but Zerg is my home. We're gonna watch this in my vision. We're gonna speed through the game. Always be in manner. Everyone has to be manner in Starcraft too. You know, always say the GLHFs. Always give GGs. When you're dead, just do it. It's good. Going for spawning pool first. You know, I generally like to do hatch first, but since I was losing to early pressure, I decided no, gonna do spawning pool first, and that leads us to our first issue. Doing something here. I'm gonna flip into text right here. Game 2. 1. No, not exclamation point. 1. Caps lock this because it's important. Doing some thing you are unfamiliar with, because of, well, here, because I'm going to explain it. It takes some explaining. Basically, since you saw I was losing to a relatively early all-in push in that game, and that's just one that I selected where it was a PVT, and I was just losing a ton to that sort of thing. I mean, I probably lost, on this whole losing streak, I probably lost maybe 12 games. I started being placed against a bronze level player, and in ladder season 3 is coming, so I want to probably be placed in gold in ladder season 3. I mean, that's my goal. It's coming in like a week or 2. But thankfully they've locked leagues, or not thankfully, but they've locked leagues, so no one can be promoted or demoted during this time while they're about to wipe the ladder. That's my goal. And something you don't want to do is, since I was losing to early pressure, just a ton, as Zerg, my most comfortable opener, like the one that I'm the best with, is a hatch first. But I can do pool first. It's, you know, it's simple. You just get your pool before and then you get your hatch. But I had this idea that I was losing, so I decided to go pool first because I did not want to lose to early pressure. That's the wrong thing to do. Since I switched Zerg, I'm uncomfortable with their mechanics. Turn caps lock off. And what I did want to do is I want to go, since I'm comfortable with hatch first, I want to go hatch first, and then if I don't go hatch first, well, it's not like, you know, as Zerg, the two most basic openings, or the two most common openings, are speed leak expand and hatch first. And so you should be comfortable with both if you're playing Zerg. But I like hatch first. That's just personal preference there. So you know, and I had in my mind that if I went hatch first, I wouldn't die to any early pressurey things, and that's like the most wrong thing to have ever. It's basically like if someone hits you with Banshees, and you go, next game I'm going to go Banshees. I mean, I'm going to go Mutalisks. I'm going to go very quick layer with like Overseer and Mutas if you're Zerg, or if you're Terran, like I'm going to go Viking and I'm not going to land any mules. I'm going to keep my command center at full energy. Or if you're Protoss, like I'm going to rush to Robo to get an observer and lay cannons. Like, that's the wrong thing to do. Like, you should just, you should have an ideal way to, like, go with your own strategy. Like, let's say my strategy was Infestor Lang, but then he hits me with some Banes. I mean, not Banelings, Banshees, and neither of those can hit air. So what do? If fungal growth can actually reveal cloaked units if you cast a fungal growth where a cloaked unit is, and so I can fungal growth. I can even lay infested Terrans, so I don't have to do anything deviant with my strategy. So that is my first tip of the game. Okay, so we're gonna jump back in the game. Oh yeah, we are watching this in my first-person camera. That's good. We can like see. Go to M. See my APM going nuts at 50. So this game, since I actually play Zerg, I always scout the front with Zerglings. So what do I see? I see 1 Rex and 3 Marines, and it's 6 minutes. So 1 Rex. Oh yeah, and since money's getting a bit high, we're gonna bust down the rocks and expand. As you can see, once I get 100 gas, I'm throwing that layer up. We're moving around. This might look like Super Gosu Ultra Fast Pro Gaming, but no, it's just because I have it on ×8 speed. Everything looks really fast. Moving around with an observer. Do I have one yet? I mean, an overseer. No, I'm making one. It's right there. Gonna hotkey him to 0, hopefully. My forces are under attack. I see an expansion. Good. That's one thing that I didn't do in my Protoss game. I did not scout for the expansion, but I see it now. But other than that, I'm playing blind. And that's that was a 6-minute expand. Not 6. That'd be pretty quick. It was like an 8-minute expand. So again, lay the changeling. I notice, I have enough energy. Oh, I see 2 factories with tech labs. That, and only 1 rack so far. That's pretty dedicated mech. And there I see 4 Thors out. So I'm, 4 Thors is intimidating. And here lies another fatal mistake with my play. I see 4 Thors. What do? I see 4 Thors, and my immediate response is to build roaches. Roaches, if you have maybe like 26 to 30 or something, it's some number between 20 and 30, they one-shot Thors. So that's eventually good. If you max out on roaches and your opponent's Thor army comes rolling in, I don't actually know who would win. Maxed out Thors would obviously win there, but if he comes marching in with like a 100 supply, you'll definitely beat that. But this initial idea of I'm going to get roaches and just like completely tech switch isn't the best thing. Roaches are good. They can tear down some armor if we look at them. Or no, they're just armored themselves, so they don't take extra bonus from a Thor like Zerglings do. So I'm gonna say, oh yeah, we'll go back. Let's rush through this because, if your opponent is getting some Thors, you do want something. You can't just like use Lings and just say, yay Lings. But he is going for Thors, and Thors is a very turtley strategy. If we notice, I'm floating about 3k minerals here. That's not good. I would say the most ideal thing I would do is expand again to this base and to the gold probably, or no, just maybe expand to that natural. Because the more expansions you get against a player who's doing like a turtley strategy like Thors, because Thors you have to as we'll see, he's kind of sitting back. Oh yeah, there's my changeling. You can see. Damn, that's a lot of Thors. All right, so that's 12 Thors. That's almost more Thors. That's almost to the point of Thors where he has like that there's so little that you can do where he's just going to take all of these Thors and just death push all the way across the map, and it doesn't even matter if you have counterattacking ability. As we can see, I have another thing I wanted to do was I wanted to get Infestors because my original strategy was Infestor here. Infestor Ling Ultra, which is a great strat, and use Neural Parasite. to take control of some Thors, and that was my. And I'm throwing away Lings because I actually want more supply for roaches. Okay, Neural Parasite going down, and he has about a one. Okay, this army is just murder. See, look, I'm dead. There's no, okay, but we do, in production tab, we actually see I made 10 Ultralisks, and they actually, like, rip Thors apart. I'm actually making 11 here, but I'm engaging with a bunch of Lings and 2 Ultras instead of engaging with 10 Ultras. And here, if we looked, here, we're going to slow it down a bit. Just, again, a bad engage is, I had a bad engage where instead of just teching normally and getting a ton of Ultralisks, instead of heavy focus on these well upgraded Lings, which actually can do a ton of DPS, like, see, they have 7 damage right now, and they deal quite a bit. Weapon speed 0.07, but if you get Adrenal Glands, which I was getting, and okay, he's getting upgrades for his Thors. So, I mean, really, this game was a lack of experience on my part. It was my first game back with Zerg, and I got a guy who goes Mass Thor. Backwater Glutch is a really hard map to do a lot of harassy things, because if we look, what do we have? We have one path that goes to the natural. We have this ramp that protects the natural a lot. So if you move stuff here, then you can protect your natural. Like a Thor with 10 range is going to be able to cover the mineral line extremely easily. The only good counterattack routes, especially if you take this third, and you have like forces, covering, then you can cover a ton of area. But Mutalisks, if they are harassing here, if I could get a good damage on the mineral line, maybe. But as you can see, I'm just throwing away Lings to try to get supply for stuff that's better against Thors. Yeah, so here, let's actually just look at this game. Again, doing a deviation from my build. This goes along, but this is more specific. I see Thors, I deviate, and I don't get Ultras. I delay Ultras because I'm like freaking out about roaches. And since I'm freaking out about roaches, I'm actually maxed. I'm getting this giant bank here. And hold on. Why didn't I take this base, this base? I could go pretty crazy and take this base, because I'm only on 3 bases. No. 20 minutes and map control. I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to be here. Oh, nope, I had 4 bases because I took the gold. That was good. Yeah, like I said, I want to be here. I took this gold because it's farther away from him. And I want to be here. I want to probably have like 8 hatcheries. But as you can still see, I actually have a ton of larvae if we hit this. That's a lot of larvae, so I end up making just a crap ton of stuff, but again, it didn't save me. So this one, I would say my biggest mistake here was making a giant deviation from my build. So don't do that. If you see a guy massing Thors, try to get more harassments in, because Thors can't be everywhere at once, but if you only go Thor on 2 base, you need to attack him early. You need to just like stop doing whatever you're doing and say, I'm going to attack you right now. Like with 4 Thors, you should just get some roaches, because he is extremely vulnerable. When he had 4 Thors and I first scouted with that changeling and I saw 4 Thors, that's an extremely vulnerable point. So if I just marched in with this, like this set of roaches and the Lings that I had there, and even the infestors too, they should come along, that would been like, boom, game over, he's dead. And because generally what I like to do if I see that is I'll just take my hatcheries and I'll rally here, like right at his front, and just like hit R or Z, generally Zerglings because they get there a lot quicker, but just something to overwhelm him like a Zergy. But so yeah, we're just gonna stop the game right here because there's not much else that we have to talk about. That was pretty disappointing, and I'm pretty disappointed in myself for just not harassing there. So I'm going to stop the recording, and we're going to get this as point number 2. Or, well, no, we can get a little bit of more time in, so I'm going to talk about something. I'm going to talk about we're going to go to the internet. I'm going to talk about the LLPC. That is this. This is their website. They're the lower level Starcraft 2 practice community. They don't have a lot of members yet. It's like super easy to join. I'm going to just pull up. I'm actually going to leave this. Not help. No, you don't need any help. Quit the replay. And they have a chat channel, so you can just go hang out in there. They'll accept anybody. Like, it doesn't matter if you're masters. You can still join the LLPC because there's mentors, and I've actually played a couple games with people. For instance, like if we go into the LLPC chat channel, there's always people hanging out in there, but it's not very noisy. It's a very quiet channel. Right now there's only 5 people because it's like 6 and Eastern over here. So, you know, if you're hanging out, if you're on Starcraft and you're in the LLPC, just get on the chat channel. If we jump in to their internet over here, to this internet, we can go to the BattleNet forum. I don't know if that's still down, but if we just go to the forum, you can see the okay, here's how you join the LLPC. All you do is you do this. Boom. Your code and your character code, your league, and then your race, and any other additional comments. So, you know, as you can see, you know, it's a really, really great site, a really great thing to join. I've practiced with a Diamond, Terran. You can watch games. You know, if people are practicing, you can just, you know, request to watch, and they'll put you in the party. All very nice people. You know, I would extremely suggest you join. Okay, now I'm going to stop recording. So, alright, part 3 coming up.